In a shocking live interview, Donald Trump completely destroys a liberal host trying to trap him. It was a prime-time interview, and the studio lights shone brightly on the set. Millions of viewers across the country were tuning in, eager to witness the latest clash between Donald Trump and the media. The liberal host, known for her hard-hitting and sometimes ambush-style interviews, had spent weeks preparing for this moment. She believed she had crafted the perfect set of questions designed to tear into Trump's personal life, his family, and, most importantly, his relationship with his wife, Melania. Her goal was clear: to expose what she thought were cracks in his carefully curated image. As the cameras rolled, the host flashed her signature smile, the one that concealed her true intentions. Trump, however, sat in his chair with an air of quiet confidence. He knew exactly what was coming. He had faced the media's attacks before and had come out on top time and time again. "Mr. Trump," the liberal host began, leaning forward as if preparing for a surgical strike, "you've built an empire, you've been president, and you've had a significant influence on millions of people. But some people would argue that you're just lucky. What do you think of that?" The host's question came with the same practiced smile she always wore, the kind that suggested she already had him on the ropes. Trump's response, however, was calm, measured, and far from what she expected. "You know, it's interesting," Trump began, his voice steady. "The liberals love to use that word, lucky. They use it to diminish success, to make it seem like hard work doesn't matter. But let me tell you something about luck. Luck doesn't build skyscrapers. Luck doesn't create thousands of jobs. And luck certainly doesn't make America great." The host, clearly not expecting such a strong counter, pressed on, her smile twitching just slightly. "So, you're saying that all of your success is simply a result of hard work?" Trump leaned forward, his voice firm now. "Yes, success comes to those who earn it. I've worked harder than most people can imagine. I've faced challenges that would break many others. But here's what matters: I didn't do it alone." The liberal host's eyes narrowed as she thought she had found an opening. She could see the chance to dig into Trump's personal life, and that's exactly what she decided to do. "Not alone?" she asked, her voice dripping with false curiosity. "Are you referring to your family, Mr. Trump? Let's talk about your wife, Melania. She's a very private person. Some people say she's quiet for someone married to such a powerful man. Don't you think the public deserves to know more about her role in your success?" Trump's face remained unchanged, his expression calm yet intense. "Quiet? No, I would say dignified. There's a big difference. But I understand why the media doesn't grasp that concept. Melania chooses her moments carefully. She doesn't need to fill every silence with noise." The host, sensing a vulnerability, pushed harder. "But Melania rarely appears in the public eye. Don't you think the public deserves to know more about the woman behind the man?" Trump's eyes narrowed, and the tone of the room shifted. "The public knows exactly what they need to know about Melania. She's brilliant, accomplished, and loyal. She doesn't need to speak just to be seen. Unlike some, she doesn't need to be in the spotlight to prove her worth." The host's smile faltered slightly, but she didn't back down. Instead, she pushed further, her voice now taking on a more aggressive edge. "Some would say that Melania's greatest achievement is simply being Mrs. Donald Trump. What do you say to that?" Trump's expression hardened, but his voice remained calm. "Let me tell you something about achievements. Melania speaks 5 languages. She has built her own successful career. She has represented this country with more grace and dignity than any first lady I can think of. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Because the media's too busy pushing their own narrative." The room grew tense as the audience began to sense that the tables were turning. The host's usual tactics weren't working. But instead of backing off, she pressed even harder. "But, Mr. Trump, surely, being married to you has opened certain doors for her, right?" Trump's lips curled into a half-smile, though there was no humor in it. "Interesting question. You know what's wrong with that kind of thinking? You assume that success is about doors opening. Success is about what you do once you're in the room. Melania doesn't just walk through doors. She transforms the room." At this point, the host could sense her narrative was falling apart. She knew she needed to regain control, and fast. "But Mr. Trump," she said, her voice sharp, "don't you think your wealth, your power, your influence all affect how people see her?" Trump leaned forward slightly, his voice growing stronger. "You mean how people like you see her, right? Let me tell you something about wealth and power. They don't create character. They reveal it. And what Melania has revealed through every challenge, every attack, every unfair criticism is exactly why I'm proud to have her by my side." The host, now visibly rattled, tried to salvage the interview with one final question. "But, Mr. Trump, don't you think, given your position, you could have any woman you wanted? Why stay with someone who is so, well, quiet?" For a long moment, the studio went deathly silent. Trump's expression hardened, and when he finally spoke, his voice was low and deliberate. "You think that's a legitimate question? Let me tell you something about value. In business, yes, sometimes you trade up, but we're not talking about real estate or cars here. We're talking about my wife, my partner, the mother of my son." He leaned forward, locking eyes with the host. "Real value is loyalty. Real value is integrity. And real value is something you cannot trade for a newer model." The audience erupted in applause, and for the first time during the interview, the host was left speechless. Trump's words had struck a nerve, not only with her, but with every person watching. As the applause echoed through the studio, it was clear that Trump had turned the tables completely. The host, once confident and in control, was now visibly shaken. Trump wasn't finished. He had one final message to deliver. "You see, your question wasn't about Melania. It was about tearing down something real. And that's what the media does. You trade in real values for sensationalism. But let me tell you something, the American people see through that. They know what real loyalty, real love, and real commitment look like." The host's face had drained of color, and even her producer in the control room could see the damage was done. The interview would go viral in a way no one had anticipated. Trump had not only defended his marriage, he had exposed the hollowness of the media's attempts to create drama for the sake of ratings. The host's career would never be the same again.